Hello, everyone. I'm officially welcoming you all to the very first episode of Chronicles of Techies. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Fola Omidiora. I'll be your host, taking you through the cruise on high altitude with all my seasoned guests. You don't want to miss any episode, so lock it down, subscribe, rate us, share with your friends and family, because honestly, it's about to go down. It's not going to be it's about to go down. So yes, today myself and our guests will be sharing our pivot experience, how we transition into tech, basically how we transition into tech and we are still steadily grinding, well, if you are thinking of transitioning, or you are wondering what area of specialization would I focus on when I try to transition or when I transition, or what are the possibilities of blowing up in few months when I get into tech, this episode is for you. And also, if you are not a newbie, you're an old school, you've made it, you're a tech bro, you're a tech babe, you can also listen, because definitely you would realize that most of us actually probably share similar stories of transitioning, if you transition. And even if you don't transition, we all went through all those of looking for job, going for interviews. It promises to be an interesting one, so lock it down. Don't go anywhere. See you on the other side. Everyone wants to be a tech bro, but only a few understand wetin tech bro dey face. Tech bro dey feel sapa, chop breakfast. In fact, tech bro sef wan japa. Chronicles of Techies, the unspoken rules of tech bros and babe, a 30-minute weekly podcast where seasoned Naija tech bro and babe highlight their highs and lows in the career path. So, are you a tech bro going through a lot, or you an upcoming? This is your ride. Hop in, because many of us are also either coming from or going through a lot. Our guest today is Adenike Adesanoye. She's a lead product designer at tech site FTA. When Adenike is not designing, she loves to use her spare time to write, cook, or mentor ladies who are trying to transition into tech. She's going to be sharing with us today how she transitioned into tech. Hi, Adenike. So lovely to have you. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Fola. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, and I think before I would start saying the reason why I'm here, right? I would just have to start with saying thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Yeah.
It's so amazing to see what you're currently doing right now. And I can remember when you shared the idea with me about this podcast, I already thought about it a lot of how we are going to achieve it. And it's so great to see that you are working towards it, and the community is definitely not ready for what you have in package for them.
Woo! Because I'm pumped.
Because there's a lot in stock for the community regarding the podcast. So I'm so excited to be one of the guests.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. So thank you so much for having me.
Okay, guys, indirectly what Adenike is saying is watch out. Honestly, I'm also so grateful to have you here to share your experience in what you're going through as a techie working in the tech space. Most of the time people think or people overlook the individuals or the experience of people that are within the tech space. So, and this platform is definitely one of those platforms that helps people, it's an insider kind of thing. Lets people see what is going on with the people that are inside the tech space. So thank you so much for being here. So let's just deep dive into why you are here today. I think recently I've known you for a while. As a matter of fact, we've been friends since probably over 3 years now.
Yeah.
And, and recently, if no more, though. Yeah, I think we met when we were at the stage when we are really hungry for, to succeed in the tech space. Yeah, that was when we met. And recently you made a post on Medium about, you told us your transition story. And by the way, I also have a transition story on Medium. Yeah, if probably I'll also post the link somewhere on the podcast description, so that people out there can also maybe pick one or two if you are upcoming, or you have someone who wants to transition into tech from a different field. Myself and Adenike, we've been able to do that successfully, and why not? Any other person can also do that. And if you have transitioned and you just still want to, learn from our story, our experience, because I know everyone's experience is actually unique, right?
Yes, definitely.
And that is one of the reasons why you are here today, your unique experience. And we all both come from different backgrounds.
And I think the fact that you studied computer science,
and
I studied sociology, right? So these are two different. And I think your story is kind of unique, because people feel like if you study computer science, then you definitely have rights to be in tech, what I say. And for me that study sociology, people that didn't study computer science, computer engineering, they find it hard to transition into tech. So I think most of the things I'm going to be saying today in the podcast is that regardless of whatever you study, you can still transition into tech, right? You can study agriculture today and still transition into tech. You can, funny enough, you can still study zoology, right?
But babe, don't make it look like it's that easy. No, well, I'm not trying to scare anyone who is trying to do that. I mean, tech is still going tech is bigger than us.
Exactly. And I think one thing I've learned is that we are trying to create products, as product designers, as developers, and all, we are trying to solve problem, right? And every day there's always something new to solve a problem for. So regardless of how people are saying that, we have a lot of people in tech, there's still a lot of problems to be solved. That's how I see it. Every day there's still a lot of problems to be solved. So like what Fola said, he said, not it is easy. I'm not trying to say that tech is easy. Truth be told, if you are in tech, you know that tech is hard. Whatever you are doing in tech is hard. Tech is hard, right? So and whatever you're saying, but there are some people that are just scared that, can I really do this because they didn't study computer science? I think with the way I transitioned into tech, I had a graphic design background. So having a graphic design background.
When was that?
Oh, okay. So for the graphic design background, my mom had a computer school, right, where she taught people graphic design. And with that, I picked it up when I was little, because she taught people normal stuff like CorelDRAW, Microsoft Word. Yeah. So for the graphic designer was CorelDRAW, and then that was how I got to pick graphic design from her. And then with time, I now went on board to learn more on graphic design, because I started learning CorelDRAW. There are all those other softwares that people can learn, Photoshop and all, illustrations and all, right? That my mom didn't really have
Adobe AI.
Exactly. That my mom didn't really have ideas on, right? So I knew I needed to further more.
So wait, before you go straight into the point, at what point, just like you said, you studied sociology. Exactly. So at what point did you know that you were ready? Because I mean, you had a background that seemed like you probably are supposed to study computer science, but yet you went for something different. So yeah, it's okay. Your mom has an organization where they train people on how to use computer and all, but that still didn't make you study computer science.
Exactly.
So at what point did you discover that, I want to do this? And why didn't you actually, I think my first question is, why didn't you study computer science from the get-go?
Okay, so I was this type of child that I did from the onset, even with the fact that my mom had a computer school, I never really wanted to associate myself with anything that has to do with computer.
Wow.
Funny enough, but look, my younger brother that he started because he's a backend developer, he started coding when he was 13 and all those stuff, right? Because he was really into the computer thing. But to me, I just felt like, man, computer is too stressful because sometimes I see my mom like work like overnight. Sometimes she doesn't sleep and then she works for like a week, 3 days, like non-stop, just in front of her computer. So I just felt like, man, this thing is just too stressful.
Okay.
To see like this woman doing like stuff like that, I just felt like, man, I'm not sure that because like lots of life.
You're not cut out for that.
Exactly.
Lots of life.
Lots of
Preach,
life.
babe. Preach, sister. Preach,
So I'm
sister.
like, no, I'm not sure I can do this, right? But at the point, so like the question you asked, right, you said at what point then I feel like, oh, I need to do this was when I now got to school because I was studying sociology then. But when I now got to school, I had like so many computer science friends. Tolu, I had like two Tolus, and like most of my friends were people like in computer science. And I could see that with what they were doing, I could see that no, with the way things are going, this is definitely like this is what we are going to like use in future, right? Like I would like put it now. This is like the
an
future.
eureka moment.
Exactly.
For you.
Like computer is the future, regardless. And that was when I started to think about it. Like I think I need to focus on what my mom was doing. And also at the point I had like teachers. Okay, so this is like a story, right? So my supervisor, yes, my project supervisor used to like he has like a lot of projects he was working on. Let me put it that way. So we had like few people that we used to come to his office like to type for him, and then he pays us, right? So type, design, and all those things, and then he pays us. So whenever they give us, we're like four. Myself, Amarachi, Inkem, we're like four. I think Dupe. So whenever he gives us like things to type, I'm always the first to finish, 100%. Like so, he's always like, so whenever I want. So it now got to a point that whenever he wants to do something, he doesn't call others. He just calls me to his office and then say, oh, Nike, I want to type this thing. Let me do it. I want to design this thing. Right. So with that, I knew that for people to see what I'm not even seeing in myself, right? People to see that, oh, this girl is useful for like graphic proficiency. Design. Exactly. She's good like with this computer. So why can't I just like move into it, right? Because there are some things that people see in you, but you don't see it in yourself, right? But 100%. But when they now constantly like now tell you these things, if you have like people that are really honest with you, when they now constantly tell you these things that I feel like you are really good with this, and you're not.
So let me quickly ask: was there a point in time someone told you you're good in?
Yeah, of course. My project supervisor says it like a lot. Like he says like almost every time, you are good with this. Okay, so fun fact, he didn't plan on like paying us before for that, but because he saw that this guy at speed, like he's like our work rate when it comes to typing and when it comes to design is like a lot. So he started paying me. So I was getting like, even if it was not a lot, but at least I was in the money to book student and take transport fare and all those things from my house to the school, my school bag, and then I cook rice and all. So it was saving me like from the money like my parents were like sending to me. So after that, when I finished like with that, immediately I finished. That was when Geneza came in, right? And then I was like, oh, I need to like learn more because I could see it that the world was not working with CorelDRAW alone. People were doing illustrations, people were working with Photoshop, and I'm like, oh, okay, what can I do like to help improve my graphic design skill? And that was when a friend of mine, Joseph, and I think today I'm really grateful to that guy. So, and that was when he told me about Bolanle Banwo, and then I started stalking her on Instagram.
I guess a lot of us were actually stalking Bolanle at some point.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bolanle, by the way.
Yeah, she's an amazing woman. She's really, really amazing. And I say it every time that immediately I met her, like getting to meet her really changed like my life. Really, really changed my life. Because I could see it in her. Like meeting her, I could see that because I had this. So I could see it now that no, this woman, she has achieved a lot. And you could see that she's somebody that like she doesn't even have to say a lot, but just looking at her, you can
the aura.
Exactly. The way she speaks and everything, you just have to feel like, this woman, there's a lot to add than how she looks, right? And immediately she taught us those things then. I learned graphic design. And I can remember, we're in the same class together now, myself and Fola. That was how we got to.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, who is this girl? I'm like, this girl. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we met at Geneza. Then Geneza was actually our first meeting. Myself, Fola, and a friend of ours also, Mene. Shout out to Mene. Shout out
Hello,
to you.
man.
Yeah, shout out to you, baby girl. So that was how we got to meet, and then we became like really close. And then after that, after Geneza, it was Geneza I got to know about like UI UX, even though what we thought then. I think the guy's name is Shegun, so I can't remember.
Yeah, his name is Shegun. I follow him on Instagram. Yeah, I forgot his surname. Yeah, he taught us basics of UI UX at that point in time. For me, I'd already been studying UI UX. I think before we started recording, I shared a part of me, like when I knew this was like when I knew I was going to come back into tech, I asked myself, I love solving problems. Like even when I was in other fields, my major roles were to help people go from point A to point B. So now I'm seeing tech as the next opportunity I could ride on. Mm-hmm. I had a creative skills. Exactly. I had gone from being a computer science student to working as a consultant, and moving from that place to resigning from my job to, going into art school to learn to earn my painting and drawing skills. Yeah. And, I had spent time helping people moving from point A to point B. So I just felt like, okay, I still want to be helping people solve problems, but how can I use this, my creative skill, to achieve that? And riding on the technology, and UI UX came. Honestly, I started soaking in PDF documents. I would download them, then I would read them, I would form a note. Do you understand? Like that was the hunger for me. I'm like, okay, I have to, read. I would Google a lot of questions. Like, okay, I have this skill. I have this skill in this. Can I apply it in that? Do you understand? Yeah. Like I'm like that. Even up to date, I still do that because the world is evolving. You need to be asking question, question into the future. Like I was like that. And it was like that for me. So I could see, even it wasn't clear, I could really tell people where I was going, but I knew that 100%. I needed to start. Yeah. So then I found myself again in Geneza, learning.
Yeah, what we met.
Yeah. So
I think I want to go back to where you spoke about illustration, because I think I could remember you were like a fashion illustrator or something.
Yeah.
And
by the way, that was for me. I was leveraging, I think that this is a story for another time. Yeah. At that point in time, I was leveraging on my art skill. Exactly. Like I said, I've been a painter, I've been an artist for a while. So I was looking for a means. I knew I was going to transition back into tech, and I didn't want to go back home to be asking for money. So I had to now use my art skill. Okay, what kind of job can I do? So then I realized that, okay, I can make money from illustration. Exactly. So for me then, I was looking for, let me say, quick money. Forgive me, guys, but it was like a quick money kind of thing. I'm like, okay, there must be an institution out there who already have these students. Yeah. But all I need to do is to become a teacher there. So, and that was how I started looking for fashion schools who would need my skill. And I found one. And yeah, and that was how I started making money. So the money I was making from the training was what I was putting into my tech trainings. Do you understand? So that was how I gradually transitioned. Do you understand?
And I think one thing I really love about, like, because I've definitely seen like your illustrations, and I think one thing that I would say that I really love about your illustrations, and I think you really also brought into like your design skill, is the fact that you definitely know how to combine colors, right? Which has been really amazing, like with the way you design also.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, and I can also remember that when we're speaking about Geneza, because shout out to Bolanle Banwe again, right? He gave me like I got to Geneza for free.
Right? Oh, maybe Geneza should come and sponsor this particular episode.
Exactly. So I got to Geneza for free, right? And today I'm really very thankful. But I could remember you saying, because you got to a time, because we were staying like really close to each other. So it got to a time we were taking like buses together from VI then. Was it VI?
Yeah, it was Lekki actually.
Yeah, from Lekki then we were taking bus like to Yanopaja then. And that was when you now told me that you paid for like Geneza. Then I'm like, okay. So Bolale, right, she did well. Because even seriously then, if I was like pay for it, then trust me, I can't afford it. I cannot say about now. Right now I can afford it. But then right, I can't just afford it. So I'm so thankful to her, like she gave me the opportunity. And based on what like Fola said, she was saving, like she was a fashion illustrator, but she knew that she wanted to go into tech. So she was working as a fashion illustrator, then saving up to like go into tech. So generally, guys, if you don't have the opportunity to like, if there's nobody to sponsor you right now, and you have like something little you are doing, you can definitely like save up, just like what Fola did, and then sponsor yourself like to go into this skills.
Like a soft transition, actually.
Exactly, because definitely, my dear, you would definitely like get like you just be shocked that it will pay off. Actually, let me just use that word.
Yeah.
It will definitely like pay off, right? So yeah, so that's it. So yeah, so back to my story of how I transitioned into tech again. So yeah, so that was it. From Janessa, I graduated, right? We all graduated, collected our certificate then. So it was like an amazing day that day. I think Bola even gave us snacks. She ordered snacks and all. Nice. She ordered snacks and all. And then after then, we now created like, because we now had like a WhatsApp group. Myself, Simi, Fola, Mene, Lanre. We now had like a WhatsApp
We
group
had
then.
a lot of people then. A lot of people dropped off.
Actually,
Remember, like a lot of people dropped off from the WhatsApp group because we had to create a challenge and we had to challenge ourselves. Like we were really hungry for this.
Funny enough, you just made me remember this lady,
Somto.
Man, now that you just said like a lot of people dropped off, I just remember.
I don't want to be mentioning names actually.
Just remember something right now that wow. Exactly.
So yeah, continue. Like when we had the challenge, like
yeah, so exactly. So we now started taxing ourselves, like we're giving ourselves like quickly challenge, like, oh, okay, you design this, you drop on the group, we rate. Like we're not giving ourselves ratings, right? And there was a time we did like, I think we went to Larry's house then. We did like we just went to Larry's house
like a mini hackathon.
Exactly. All of us we packed us. And then Larry was in store 10 then.
Then we were trying to redesign Naira Land.
Exactly. Exactly. I think Tega was supposed to be there. I can't remember, but I know somebody was supposed to be there that day. Or maybe the person should join Google Meets here that day. Shining Tega. Shout out to you, Tega, again. So yeah, so
it's like we want to call out all our friends.
No, like is how I transitioned into tech.
Yeah.
And you transition into tech. There are a lot of people that worked with you in the journey, right? So that's why their names are like coming like into this thing. So yeah, so that was it. So we added like WhatsApp group, and I think one thing I'll say again, guys, is that
form a community.
Exactly.
It's important.
You get it.
You need networking. Like you need a lot of networking to do. Like through your network. Honestly, do you know my first job? I got it. Yes, I got it from a network.
Yeah, my job too, right? Don't just isolate yourself. Don't think that I can do it alone. You can never do it alone. Even if you guys are not giving yourself jobs, but you are growing at the point, right? Mm-hmm. You guys are taxing yourself. Even if all of you have not gotten job, but tax yourself. Mm-hmm. Do stuff, give yourself tasks to do, and then everything. Just make sure you guys are growing.
So another way that I know that other people have been able to motivate themselves is to, when they design, they share it on social media. Yeah. I didn't get to do that. Did you get to do that?
Of course, I did it like a lot.
You did it for a while.
I did it on LinkedIn. And then when I got my job, I just stopped.
It's true. That was when you were handing on me to start the LinkedIn.
I was constantly putting on LinkedIn.
So
and I think I got a lot of freelancing like opportunities from LinkedIn. I got like my first job from LinkedIn. I just got like a lot of offers from LinkedIn.
You can imagine.
Funny enough, and I still had to like turn like some offers down on LinkedIn because I was feeling like this offer is not for me. No, I don't want.
So
this offer is not for me.
For someone like me at that time, I think I was in a phase whereby I was still shy to come out because people like you are coming from like, okay, we knew you as an illustrator a few months back, a few years back. Why are we again? So it was quite hard to really reintroduce myself. You understand? So I had to, sort of just do it softly. Like I had to create a Behance page, which I attached to my Twitter and also my LinkedIn at that point in time. So it was on my Behance account. I would just post. And funny enough, do you know, I had to remove some design recently because those design you will receive comments like, oh, this is wonderful. And now being a senior person, I'm like, oh no, this can be it. Like, this can be great. You can't be telling me this is wonderful.
Actually.
It now made me remember that time Bolani said sometimes when she takes audits, she'll be like, no, I've outgrown this. Like, I need to remove it.
Like when you now see some of your designs, you just and do you know that I putting yourself out there, like what I did, like I put myself out there for a while, even if I plan on going back, putting yourself out there, like networking with people, communicating and all.
Working.
Don't just stop working. And I think that does not mean if you are like extreme introvert, that does not mean that you don't get a job. Right, you definitely get a job.
So if you're an extreme introvert, you can kind of deploy what I did, which is just be posting on all your mediums that you think you can, showcase your talent or your portfolio, and apply for jobs. Like I did. We forgot to talk about that we also did other training. It wasn't only
I remember when we came to back then.
We also did Paxels.
Yeah, we did Paxels. We did HNG.
Shout out to Fiwa. Fiwa actually, she actually mentored us. In a way, she influenced our design thinking.
Actually,
she gave us tasks.
Yeah,
she made me understand the importance of having a brief.
Yeah, and also presentation. And I think
presentation skills.
I think my
every weekend
grew from like Paxels.
Every weekend, Fiwa will put us through that presentation.
Sundays, my dear. I can remember on Thursday, she will send us brief on Monday.
Yeah.
Then on Thursday, we'll come and then explain what we understand by the brief she sent to us. Then on Saturday, we submit our assignment or our tasks, whatever it's called. And then on Sunday, we'll now come and present. And like, remember our list, like me, but funny enough, Fola knows how to present very well. She's a genius when it comes to presentation.
Oh, wow. I'll take that. Thank you. I'll take my flowers.
For me, I'll still trying to also my presentation skills. Right? As I could remember, Fiwa always dragging me then. I was very good with design because she says it a lot. But she's like, you cannot just be designing alone. You need to present this design to stakeholders. Let them see reasons why you are doing something.
Shout out to Fiwa.
Yeah, shout out to Fiwa. So she was giving. She would also say, you need to give people reasons why you are making certain decisions when it comes to your designs.
Yeah.
You are not just designing alone.
Yeah.
She was also hammering me on it. And I think from Izero, my presentation at Paxels grew to, let me say, 60%. And right now, not saying I'm going a lot, but I would rate myself 90% because I've started working and then I'm presenting to my
stakeholders. Yeah, that's great.
So these are things that I really
need to from Paxels we moved to HNG.
Yes, my dad. The also was real. From Paxels again, we moved to HNG. No, I didn't move to HNG then. From Paxels, I moved to what was this StatNG.
StatNG. I also did StatNG, but I missed one of my assignments. That got me out of the game. But I waited till about a couple of months, 3 months later, HNG came, and I gave it my all.
Man, no.
Okay, for the record, let me say one thing. During my time at HNG, I didn't have honestly, all this while that we were doing all those training, I didn't have a laptop.
Yeah.
I was either using someone's laptop.
Our stories can be so funny.
I had no laptop. No, I'm not kidding.
You didn't have a laptop. My laptop got spoiled when I got to
So shout out to my friend Tosin at this point in time, because during HNG, I knew it was blood for blood. So I had to move out of my house, move to Tosin's house, and they accommodated me for the time that I was doing my HNG. I was shuttling either Tosin's laptop or our sister's laptop to get tasks done. And guys, see, our transition story are actually different and unique, but I don't know, maybe you got it easy, but we are just putting ourselves out there so that people would also know that if you have the dream, there's no excuse as to why you cannot get it. You don't need to have all the tools.
Yeah.
All you need is that zeal, that passion, and the few cobbles or people that you have around you. Just believe your gut.
Okay.
Some people might want to give excuse as to why I am unable to achieve this is this. Because I remember then you have to share your laptop thing story when your laptop got spoiled. When you went on social media to, tell people that, okay, I'm doing a change and this is what is wrong with me.
Even aside my laptop, right? I know this might not happen when it comes to like design, but I could remember, because like I said, my younger brother is a backend developer. I could remember my brother started coding with his phone, right? Before my mom like gave him like a system to start using and all, right? And aside that, there's sometimes I go on Twitter and then I see people saying so person should like buy them a laptop because of that they cannot code.
And the funniest thing is they'll be giving you specification.
Exactly. And I find it really weird because there are so many, you don't really need to get something expensive. When I started my laptop actually got spoiled at stage 8 when I was at HNG. And the laptop that got spoiled that was used to design, I think I bought it 45k like then, right? Or like now, I don't know how much.
Can you imagine?
Exactly. So you don't really need to get like a MacBook or a Core something laptop, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you can get something small. And then from something small, you can now, like when you start making the money, you can start saving up to now get like a MacBook. You don't necessarily need to say because you want to like transition into tech, you need a MacBook.
Yeah.
Like why? You don't need a MacBook like to really transition into. If you can't afford it,
cut your toes according to your shoe size.
If you can't afford it, then start with something small.
Start with someone's laptop. Honestly,
yes.
Start anyhow.
Shout out to what
someone also lend you a laptop.
Exactly what I was about to say. Like when we got to stage 8, my laptop got spoiled. And then and HNG is stage 1 to stage 10, right? So I cannot move from stage 1 to 8, and then it will now be just 2 more stages, and then I'll not get to the finals. I was like, no, my village people cannot follow me this time around. I was like, nah, my village people cannot follow me this time around, right? So I just sent the message on, like, because they added us all to Slack.
Yeah.
So I just started dropping messages on all the Slack group that please, who has like 2 laptops, should come and give me, like borrow me one and all, right. And we had like tech brothers that were already working, but because it was during COVID, so they just needed something to like add up to what they are doing, just while away time. And then there's this particular guy, I can't remember his name, Jide, exactly. So Jide just texted me then on Slack that he has like 2 laptops. There's one they gave him at work, and then one is current. The one they gave him at work, and then his personal system that, can I like get his personal system for a while till I'll finish? I was like, why not? I cannot be choosy, boy. Send it to me. So that was like, he just like sent it to me. And as grateful and as good as this guy is, he also paid for like delivery fee, right? So I just got to the park then, picked it up, and then like went home without like paying for the delivery fee.
And that was how you became the top 10 finalists.
My dear, and that was like
top 10 finalists.
The top 10 finalists at
HNG.
And HNG now gave me a MacBook again.
Yeah, you actually got a MacBook.
Yes, like HNG. Take this MacBook, baby girl. We have tried because I suffered.
Yeah, you did. You did. You actually did suffer.
Yeah, and people don't really know like these stories, right? And even for outside the fact that I got a laptop from HNG and then my laptop got spoiled. In my street, we had like, they used to share like our electricity. So today my street will have like light, and then tomorrow there's no light. Exactly, the other street will have light. So what I did was, today I'll stay in my house. The following day I'll go to like a family friend house to like stay. I'll go to like a family friend like place to like stay overnight. So I could just complete like my tasks for that day, so that I'll be like moved to the other stage, right? And that was how I was moving. So sometimes I'll be home today. The following day I'm not at home,
bro.
Like people don't see these things.
I mean, even for a lady, like I'm sure some of our listeners will be like, oh wow.
No. Like
for a lady, I think if you are really hungry, if you really want it that bad, you go out, like you go all out for it. Like I think what I want people to really focus on in this our story is how we really showed the passion.
Exactly.
And we were very quite intentional. For you, it will require you to probably stay with a friend at a friend's place when you don't have lights. For me, it took me out of my house. Like there was no laptop. The laptop I was using, and then maybe it got spoiled or something that I was managing, which was probably someone's laptop, maybe a relative or a cousin's laptop or someone's laptop that I even when I was at Genesa, it wasn't my laptop I was using. For any tech training I've ever taken, it wasn't my laptop I was using. But I made sure I put in my all, because I kept telling my dad one thing: by coming year, I want to be working in a tech firm.
Yeah, and I think
I was dogged, like I was just not giving up on my desire, because I saw myself working in a tech space, honestly. So, and I was ready to give it my all, because I knew, okay, I was creative, I could create fantastic designs, and I could leverage, and I saw that, it was like forecasting. I'd gone to do my research, and I realized that in the next few years, this thing will be big.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
And I think that every time we speak, and I think one thing I really like is the fact that every time we speak, you are always saying stuff like, okay, Ninke, in the next coming year, these are things I think would okay, these are things I've done in my research, and these are the skills that I feel like will be important in the next coming year.
Yeah.
So when we spoke about cybersecurity, data analysis and all, and you were when you were conducting your research, these are the skills that you saw that these skills will be really important in the next coming year. Just like
in 2030.
Exactly.
I don't know what I was looking for that. I was definitely, because honestly, guys, you need to, even when you are in the tech, you need to evolve. You need to add to your skill.
100%.
So early last year, I started conducting that research again, because I'm like, everybody is coming for this job that we have. So you need to really work on it. And when you now shared with me that you're trying to also leverage on this, I'm like, oh my God, I saw the research. I saw it. I saw 30 job opportunities.
Exactly.
I don't know if I find the link again, I'm probably going to share it with some of us who might probably need it. I don't know. Maybe you can send me a DM on Royal_Penach, or probably on my Twitter, Fola Penach, or probably on the Chronicles of Techies. Then maybe I will share the link with you. I've shared it with quite some people in my DMs, in my WhatsApp contacts. I've shared it with them, people that I know that I know what they're currently doing, and and when I spoke with you, I told you about it. Okay, in the next by 2030, these are the skills. That was what got me back into tech, honestly, because I would not stop searching. I'm not that person that is given to relaxing. I don't know how to. I like to go.
Yeah, that's what people need to also do. No matter what skill you are doing, right? No skill is too much. You can still go outside your skill to learn other skills, even not even learn about skills, just to read articles, educate yourself on those other skills. As a product designer, I can decide to not just I can decide. I'm currently taking a cybersecurity course.
Yeah.
Even if I don't end up taking a role that has to do with cybersecurity, but already have the knowledge. Exactly.
And you can support someone in the organization. Maybe if there is any job that has to do with that, you can support. You can be a support system to someone that works. You can speak to it. Let's just
say it. I can work on even if I don't take it as a role, like I said, I can work on cybersecurity things. I can work with the team. Right on, how do you guys want to go about it? This is what I've learned over time, and all right, which would also help. And they will not just be looking at you as a product designer alone at that point. They'll be looking at okay, this person is so they are not going to grade you the way they grade the way they look at other product designers in your team.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving you another level of respect.
I mean, for someone like me, in my organization, I've grown from just being the regular UI UX into being a lead, and now into even taking roles in educating people. I work in the academy arm of my organization. Do you understand? And I'm seeing myself growing into more. Do you understand? So even when you transition, we don't transition to sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
We transition to still transition. I mean, you can transit, you can evolve. Let's just use the word tech. Tech is a very wide space.
Very wide.
So occupy as much as you want, spread about. Do not just come there and remain static, or else you'll become
Nobody will rate
irrelevant.
you. Exactly.
And you want your paycheck to go high. Show them that
That's very important.
you know,
Yeah.
I've got to do this because your race must come with what more responsibility,
Yeah,
and you must be able to prove yourself.
Exactly what I was about to say. So if you want your race to go high, you should be able to show them that I've gotten here for like 2 years. Let's say, for example, 2 years. And in 2 years, you guys can see that I'm not just working on what you guys are giving me. You can see that I've grown over time. So with that, they can even see that, oh, you are not just exactly, you deserve what you are requesting for.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think we've done justice.
Actually, we've done a lot of justice.
So I think before we wrap up, what do you think are the valuable lessons for you? We'll take away from this conversation, valuable lessons that we can share with listeners.
Oh, okay. So for me, I think the first thing will be like, I think we said it a lot in this podcast already, but I think the first thing would be that don't limit yourself, right? That's the first thing. Don't ever limit yourself to like what you are currently doing, right? So try to spread, just like what Fola said, try to like spread. So if you're a product designer, try to like learn other skills, like read articles on like backend engineering, read articles on front end, read articles on product management.
Be valuable.
Right? Exactly. So when
assets.
Exactly. So when you are speaking, right, you can like reason along all these other angles, where you're not just talking as a product.
You're not floating.
Yes, you're not just speaking as a product designer alone, but you're speaking as a product designer and also looking at how it affects like the product management, and how it will affect like the front end and back end and like all the
entire life cycle of the
exactly product. How everything just links together. Because if you want to be the product, you're not just like designing a product. The marketers are involved, engineers are involved, like front end, back end, everybody, stakeholders are involved. There. So spread yourself. Try to like learn from like every other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and then spread. Don't limit yourself. And I think one other thing would just be that no matter how small, no matter how little, whatever little thing you have now, right, and you are passionate about something, work on that little thing, right? So if you have like a phone, right, and I'm passionate about UI UX, don't wait till you have a laptop. Don't even let us say Mac now. Don't wait till you have a laptop before you start saying that's when I'll start taking courses, right? You can be taking courses on Udemy right now, and then you are learning.
I told you how I started taking courses.
Exactly.
It was my phone, and I write them down in a book. I still have the book all to today. Like my first lessons on UI UX were like I signed up to a newsletter where they drop a weekly learning on teachings on UI UX.
Exactly. Yeah. So don't say to get a MacBook, you now go on Twitter and be harassing like all those tech brothers and be saying you need a MacBook, going to their like replying to their tweet and all those things. Start small. Then when you start small, then you can start like, even though you can't afford it, right? Because some people like have that luxury, so they can definitely afford it. But for those that can't afford it, start small. Read articles. Like try to watch.
People still go to cyber cafe today? Do people still go to cyber cafe?
Man, that cyber cafe, I don't know. I can't really say. But no matter how little it is, you definitely have friends. If you don't have friends, you have cousins. If you don't have cousins, your cousin will have cousins. You will have a friend that has a laptop. Exactly. Yeah. So even if it is once in a week that you can borrow the laptop, borrow it for once in a week, and you tell the person that once in a week you are learning like to the extreme. You are learning. Like
you're maximizing the time.
Exactly. You are really focused. Nothing is distracting you. You are really learning like all those things that you've learned like theoretically. You're not practicing it at that point. Right.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Adenike. It was so great to have you here today. I'm sure our listeners are also I'm sure we did justice to this.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much for sharing the platform with me today. And that'll be all for today. But before you go, Adenike, I have this question for you that I regularly ask.
Okay.
That I regularly ask our guests on the show. And I want you to just give me a one-line answer. I'm going to give you options. Just pick one out of the three things I'm going to mention.
Okay.
So are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready, even if I'm scared because I don't know what you want to ask me.
Family, career, money.
Oh, okay. Career. I'm confused already.
Family, career,
Actually, I actually heard what you said, but I'm kind of confused because I don't know what
you need to. Don't think about it. I want it.
Okay,
now.
I'll say family.
Okay, thank you so much for coming to the show. And it's a wrap. We are building a community of healthy, wealthy, and creative tech bros and babe. So follow us on Twitter at Chronicles of Techies. And you can also follow our guest on LinkedIn at Adesanoye. On the next episode, we're going to be discussing Sapa, how tech bros stay afloat in such a time. So therefore, subscribe, rate us, and also share with your friends and family. Bye. See you next time.